71-ton Jagdtiger was the heaviest armored fighting vehicle used operationally by any nation of World War II and was the heaviest combat vehicle of any type to achieve series production during the conflict. It saw a very brief service in small numbers from late 1944 up until the end of the war on both the Western and Eastern Front. 150 Jagdtigers were initially ordered, but only between 70 and 90 were produced at the Nibelungenwerke at St. Valentin in Austria from the summer of 1944. All details and production locations were known to the Allied intelligence through an Austrian resistance group. The Nibelungenwerke was the largest and most modern tank assembly factory in Germany, located near the Austrian town of St. Valentin. As the only German tank production facility which had a well-structured production line, the Nibelungenwerke produced more than half of all of Germany's Panzer IV tanks. Of the total of about 8,500 Panzer IVs produced, nearly 4,800 were produced in the Nibelungenwerke. In the late autumn of 1941, the workforce stood at 5,000 people, mainly from Austria and Germany. During the course of the war, many Austrian and German workers were conscripted and replaced by foreign prisoners of war. In numerical orders, these were French, Greek, and Russian POWs. The number of workers at the end of 1944 amounted to about 8,500 people. Due to the growing shortage of skilled workers and the time-consuming training and instruction of foreign workers, relatively large-scale concessions were made to the increasingly important foreign workers. In the third quarter of 1944, debugging of the mass production of the most severe self-propelled gun in history began. Its release was planned earlier, but problems with the reliability of the engine and transmission, which have not been fully resolved, caused a delay. Along with the Ferdinand tank destroyer, the Jagdtiger became the second project of the Nibelungenwerke. In the third quarter of 1944, 12 Jagdtigers were created, and the largest monthly issue was 20 in December of the same year. However, manufacturing difficulties began even before the production of the Jagdtiger. The shortage of fuel became critical, in connection with which all cargo transport was withdrawn from the Nibelungenwerke. Later, they added the Allied bombing. Initially, they did not reach the factory in St. Valentin, but the loss of related industries led to the lack of bearings and transmission parts. Contrary to this, in the summer of 1944, production volumes exceeded the plans, and 287 Panzer IV tanks emerged from the Nibelungenwerke gate. However, by October of 1944, the bombardments seriously affected the production. Most of the workshops were destroyed, but production continued in the surviving buildings and mobile workshops. Over the last quarter, the factory produced 339 Panzer IV tanks and 48 Jagdtigers. And until the spring of 1945, another 500 Panzer IV and 26 Jagdtigers were created. It's a little known fact that after the Red Army occupied the factory on the 9th of May 1945, production continued on a small scale, so that some Panzer IV tanks could be made available for the victory parade in Moscow.